What's up, Comic Frontline? It's Mr. J here, and don't worry, guys. I know I promised the Dragon Ball Z Revival of F review is going to come this weekend, but don't worry, it'll be here. But before that, I have to release my fanboy rage, and then I can, cleanse my palate by talking about something I actually really enjoyed. In case you haven't told by the title and my unenthusiastic tone, I'm here to review Fantastic Four. Normally how I structure these reviews is a spoiler-free section and then a spoiler section. But honestly, guys, there's not much to spoil, and in order for me to really kind of vent to you guys and to warn you not to see this movie, just don't see it. I'm gonna have to go into spoilers. Now, if you want to see this movie, against my warning, I'm telling you guys not to see it. But if you want to see it because you need to see it for yourself to judge how bad it is, you don't want to just take, people's word for it, fine, I respect that. That's cool. Go and see the movie, and you can come back and see this later. But I'm going to go into full spoilers. This is your warning right now. If you don't want any spoilers for Fantastic Four, then leave. And fair warning, there will be a lot of cursing, a lot of angry yelling, and just a lot of head scratching and face palming throughout this review. Okay, here we go. So, Fantastic fucking Four. What did I think about this movie? This shit was a mess. This shit was a mess from the beginning. Okay, so yeah, it takes some inspiration, very loosely based off of the Ultimate Universe. That's cool. I like the Ultimate Fantastic Four. But there's so many problems. I don't know where to begin. Okay, let me start with some of the the somewhat positives, because the cast in here is great. On paper, this is a fantastic cast. No pun intended. And you know that these actors are great actors, and they try their best with what they're given. But what they're given is complete and utter shit. And you can't turn shit into gold. Not even the best actor can turn shit into gold. So, yeah, it's not your fault, guys. Jamie Bell, Kate Mara, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, Toby Kebbell. None of you guys. It's not your fault at all. I don't blame any of the actors. I blame some other people, and I mostly blame Fox. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this movie. So, it starts off with Reed and Ben. Reed is building his, teleporter thingy, and his freaking science teacher, Homer Simpson, yeah, he's actually, the actor who plays his science teacher is the voice of Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson pretty much tells Reed, when he, explains the whole thing about the teleporter, the Homer Simpson is like, well, I asked for a paper on actual science, not science fiction. You can give your paper again tomorrow, things like that. And then, we see a little bit of, Reed and Ben's first meeting. One thing I will give the movie credit for trying, or at least, putting more effort into, is Ben and Reed's friendship. I can't, give this movie 0, because they at least tried to Ben and Reed's friendship, and I could buy Ben and Reed's friendship. I understood it. And that actually felt like a legitimate friendship, which is more than I could say for the rest of the team, but I'll get to that. So, yeah, we see, Reed and Ben meet, and, they become friends, and we also see Ben, grows up in an abusive, household, and his brother, who, he does have a brother in the comics, and he's, the leader of, I think it's called, I want to say the gang is called the Yancey Street Gang, but I'm not entirely sure, but I know he leads a gang, his brother died and led a gang, and he was killed because of gang violence in the comics. But yeah, his brother is very abusive, and something he says before every time he beats on poor little Ben is, "Hey Ben, it's clobbering time." So yeah, you fucking ruin Benjamin J. Grimm's iconic catchphrase by attaching it to physical abuse and child abuse. Okay. Alright. Then we move on, right? We flash forward, I think, like 7 years. And it's from 2007, and they flash forward to 7 years. And, it's the same teleporter. They teleported the toy car the first time. And, it's the same teleporter, but I guess, more perfected. And, the teachers / judges, again, are like, he actually successfully teleports this toy car, or whatever it was. And so, the teachers are like, "Well, you're disqualified because we asked for science, not a magic trick." And I'm looking at it like, are you evil idiots? This boy built a working teleporter that you saw work right in front of your faces, and you're calling it a fucking magic trick. Okay. Whatever, movie. Then, after that, it's like, he's older and stuff, or like he's a teenager, like he's at the appropriate age to start, doing the Baxter Building work. And just then we have Franklin Deus Ex Machina Storm, or Franklin Storm, Sue and Johnny's dad, and pretty much we have Franklin Storm come up to Reed, and he's like, "I think you just solved our problem." And so he goes, and he's like, "Alright, I'm going to take you to this place called the Baxter Building. You're going to be part of this think tank, and you're going to help us, figure out cool scientific shit, And that's a concept borrowed from the Ultimate Universe. I was like, okay, they're going, it's like, oh, okay, they might be going somewhere, finally, okay. It took maybe 20 minutes, but maybe they're going somewhere. And then there it goes again. It goes just all over the place. And, we meet Sue. There's like a long-ass montage of just them building the large-scale teleporter. We also meet Johnny and Vic, or Johnny and Victor Von Doom. And Johnny is literally just there to be there. Basically, Johnny, like, he's, reckless, arrogant, hothead, as Johnny should be. And so he's like racing and stuff, right? And he has like this awesome tricked out car, and it has like the Mario Fire Flower in the rearview mirror. That's cool. And so Johnny basically gets in trouble. Daddy says, "Nope, you're not getting your car back until you work it off. And I need you here because I need an engineer, and you're the one I need." Even though Franklin Storm and the Baxter Building is clearly funded by the government, he somehow thinks that his son is the more qualified as an engineer than these highly paid government professionals. But what the fuck ever. Okay, and then, like I said, we see Sue, and, in an interview a while back, Michael B. Jordan said, the movie will explain it all, the whole Sue and Johnny being adopted siblings. I thought they were going to go into that, they were going to have a, little backstory about why, the reason Sue was adopted, and, like, what their dynamic is like as siblings, because I didn't care that they were adopted, I didn't care that Johnny was black, I just wanted to see if they still had the same kind of bond as siblings despite being adopted. Because, you can still have that same kind of bond. However, the explanation, the backstory that we get for that. So, Franklin Storm, he adopted you? Yeah. So yeah, that's the backstory we get. What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna get progressively more angry as we get some more points, so bear with me. Yeah, and then we, of course, they're trying to show us that Sue and Reed have a thing, but Kate Mara and Miles Teller, despite how great of an actor and actress they are, it's not their fault. It's just they have no chemistry, and the script doesn't provide chemistry with the dialogue they're given. So, what the hell? I mean, Victor and Sue kind of have chemistry in a really creepy way. But creepy on more Victor's side than Sue's. Like, Victor is a creeper, and Sue, rebuffs him, obviously. And Victor is kind of just that emo kid in the group who sees that the one girl likes the one guy in the group, and he also likes the one girl, but since the one girl rejected him, he just is like, oh, fuck the world, my life is over, she doesn't want me, I'm going to, blah, 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 and that's Victor Von Doom. And, we don't even, like, alright, I'm gonna keep going. So they build the fucking teleporter, right? They build the teleporter, the big teleporter, and this is the part that probably made me the most pissed off. Okay, so get this. This is a real thing. It really happened like this. So the original plan is to send astronauts in this teleporter to explore, where this teleporter takes them and stuff like that. Okay? Makes sense. You need professionals to do this job. Alright? Cool. Now, you're probably asking, then why the hell are the Fantastic Four there if the astronauts are the ones that go into the teleporter? Well, see, what had happened was, they get drunk. Ben, Johnny, Reed, and Victor get drunk. 3 men. Three, and then they call up Ben after, those 3, like Johnny, Victor, and Reed, and they call up Ben later, and then Ben comes along, but, yeah, those 3 get drunk off of one tiny little flask, and they're like, hey, we are the ones that worked on this, this was our project, we should be the first ones to go in there, we should totally fucking do it, let's fucking go, you fucking dare me, let's do it, let's go, I'm so fucking wasted right now, but we should totally, like, go in there and be the first ones to experience teleport and be like Neil Armstrong and shit, but with teleportation. Oh my god, it was so bad. And then, okay, so they call up Ben, and Reed's like, come on, man, we're about to do this. You were there when I did my first teleportation experiment. I want you there now for this big one. So Ben comes along, right? We see Ben again, and Ben comes along. And they do the thing. They go into the teleporter, and, you've seen this part in the trailer. They go in, and they're in this alternate dimension that they do not call the negative zone, because apparently it's very difficult to call something. Apparently the negative zone is a very difficult name, so they had to just call it Planet Zero, which sounds like a cheap knockoff sci-fi video game map. So they're in Planet Zero or whatever, right? And Sue realizes, oh shit, somebody's accessed the teleporter. She goes to the computer, tries to find them, track them down, tap. She's on the computer, type. And then, even though there are clearly, so, like I said, Sue is not in there with them. There are 4 of them, right? Johnny, Ben, Reed, and Victor. Those 4 are in Planet Zero right now. Sue is at the computers for some reason, trying to track them down. And yet, I counted. I streamed this movie. I did not pay money to see this. I streamed it. I'm not afraid to say I streamed it, because I was not going to give this movie any money, and you shouldn't give this movie any money. But anyway, I streamed it. I rewound the part, right, where, they get into the pods. I counted the pods. There are 5 fucking pods. She could have easily gone in there and brought them back out. But no, she's at the computer. She's at the computer. So something happens. Some shit pops off. Whatever. I don't even remember what exactly happens. And they're like, okay, we got to get back. We got to get out of here. And then Sue, they get out, and it explodes or something happens. They touch like a totem in the ground, which I guess is a reference to the Watcher totem that they run into in the negative zone in the Ultimate Universe, which gives them their powers, kinda, sorta. And I mean, the Watcher totem doesn't give them their powers in the Ultimate Universe, but I'm saying this totem in this movie, I think, gives them their powers. And so they come back, they get out there, and like Johnny, Ben, and Reed, like they have their powers, and I guess through contact or something, I don't know how, because Sue wasn't actually in the dimension, but she somehow got the powers from the dimension, and Victor is left behind, so Victor's stuck there. We'll get to Victor, like, towards literally the last 20 minutes of the movie. We never see Victor again until the last 20 minutes of the movie. So yeah, they get out, they have powers, and of course, like any realistic superhero movie, what do you do when you work in a government facility and they recently find out you have powers? Oh yeah, they want to weaponize you. They want to use you as weapons. Okay, alright, I can buy that. And then, it doesn't really show them resisting. I mean, Reed escapes and he tries to, run, and, he's trying to find a cure. And this is actually a scene where I'm like, I see a tiny glimmer of something cohesive. It's like, it kind of flashes forward. Ben's working for the military. Ben, Sue, and Johnny are working for the military, and they're doing like covert ops missions. Thing is being muscle for the military and things like that. And Reed is obviously still on the run, and so Reed is trying to track down Ben. He's tracking sightings of Ben. He has pictures and things like that. And he's like, don't worry, Ben, I'll save you, I'll cure you, I'll make sure that I can fix this. And that's Reed, that's Reed and Ben. I was like, okay, something is there. Please, show me more of this. They don't show you more of that. So yeah, and then somehow, some way, they say that Sue is good at finding and reading patterns. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. They don't even really show how she is good at finding and reading patterns. But because she is so skilled at finding and reading patterns, they have her track down Reed Richards, who is, in the comics, is the smartest man in the Marvel Universe. And somehow, Sue can just tap, 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 tap. I found him. They find him in like this farmhouse place where he's doing his experiments, tracking Ben's movements and stuff. Ben willingly knocks Reed out and brings him to the government. Like, what the fuck? And so basically, they're like, okay, we need your help. There's some kind of disturbance in Planet Zero. We need you to go back, and we need to figure out what's going on here. Blah, 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 blah. And so they go back to the Planet Zero, or whatever you want to call it. Not what's supposed to be the negative zone, but they don't call the negative zone. They go back there for some reason, and Victor is like, he walks up to them, he collapses. They're like, oh my god, Victor. And they bring him back, and he starts fucking shit up with powers that aren't even fucking Doctor Doom's powers. Like, he's a wannabe Sith Lord. He's got the hood and the cloak. He's got the mask, or like metal. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It looks horrible. It looks like a fucking crash test dummy. And he's like using the Force and wannabe Force lightning and things like that. And he's like blowing people up. He blows up Mole Man. Or what's supposed to be, who is supposed to be the Mole Man, played by the actor who played the leader in the last Incredible Hulk in the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton. Yeah, he gets blown up, and that guy personally, fucking Mole Man, annoyed the shit out of me, just nitpick wise, because every time he was talking, he was like chewing gum or something. Even when he was giving a speech about how to use the other 3 subjects as weapons for the government, he would just talk like this, like he was chewing something. I don't know. So it ends up the last 20 minutes is they go back to the negative zone. I'm just gonna call it the negative zone, even though that's not what they call it. So they go back there. They go, and Doom's there. There's the blue beam of light in the sky. You've seen this in the trailer. And then the worst final fight I have seen in a long time happens. Just a shit ton of CGI that is terrible. This movie had like a $38 or $40 million budget, and the CGI for this fight was so bad. There was really bad CGI in certain other parts too, because like Reed tries to disguise himself at one point while he's on the run, and like when his face morphs from the disguised face back to Reed Richards, it looks so bad. Oh my god. Oh, but this fight is so shitty, and it makes it even worse, right? Is like the thing about the 2003 Fantastic Four movie. Say what you want about it. Yeah, it wasn't great. Sure, yeah, okay. But at least it was fun. It had its nice charms to it, and they seemed like friends and a family. You know, they had a family type of dynamic. Something that the 2003 movie got right that this movie didn't is during their fight with Doctor Doom, they're in the streets of New York, and like everything is getting wrecked. Like the whole city is getting like in a wave of destruction, and Doom is callously just doesn't give a fuck about people, and he's wrecking everything. You know, honestly, you know, it was a bad interpretation of Doctor Doom in the 2003 one. I will acknowledge that, but that's more Doctor Doom than this guy. This guy was just kind of walking and randomly blowing people up. And then, like, when they're in the negative zone, and apparently the Earth is in peril due to this battle, just the effects of this battle that's going on in the Planet Zero or whatever, you don't actually see what's happening on Earth. You don't see what these repercussions of this battle are, so there's no weight to this fight whatsoever. Like, what? There's no weight to it. There's no point. What the hell? And that's how you feel about this movie at this point. And it's just, I can't. You know, and Reed, you know, they get their ass, they're getting their asses handed to them, and then I actually predicted what Reed was gonna say, and as he was saying it, I said it, and I was like, oh my god, you actually said it. I went, really? He actually said it. The line where it was something like, you know, he's stronger than any one of us, but he's not stronger than all of us together. Oh my god. And then, you know, Ben says it's clobbering time, which is supposed to be a big, yeah, type of moment when it's just like, don't care. Like, you associated it's clobbering time with a really negative memory, so how am I going to get excited about him saying it's clobbering time? Is he having flashbacks of his child abuse now? During this fight? Is that why he's saying it's clobbering time? And I know it seems like I'm just needlessly hating on this movie, but honestly, this is just how I feel, guys. I can't, I'm digging deep. But other than Ben and Reed, there's nothing that I liked about this movie. The pacing was all off. Chemistry for the cast was off, except for Ben and Reed, like I said. This was obviously a rights holder type of movie. Please, Marvel, please save us. Save your baby. Don't let Stan's baby die. Save the FF. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan by any means, I love those characters, but I'm not a huge fan of them. But they don't deserve this. They don't deserve this. They don't. Give the rights back, Fox. You do a decent job with X-Men, like a decent to okay job with X-Men. Stick with X-Men. I'm okay with you doing X-Men. You do fine. You don't do great or amazing, but you do fine. Stick with X-Men. Give us a Fantastic Four to Marvel, please. Please. Pretty please. So yeah, they saved the day. Woohoo. And yeah, so they give them a new facility, but they don't give them the Baxter building. They give them this new facility called, Central City, which is a reference to where the FF are originally from. Not to be confused with Central City in The Flash, which is in Missouri. This is Central City, California. And yeah, so they get a new facility, and they call themselves the Fantastic Four, and they decide on the name the Fantastic Four, and the movie ends. I didn't give two shits if there was a post-credit scene or anything like that. This movie was an hour and 10 minutes of build-up and 20 minutes of a shitty final fight. And that's what this movie boiled down to. I don't blame the actors. I don't blame them at all. Like, they gave it their best shot. And I feel so bad for them. Michael B. Jordan, the fact that the Demon Torch was African American, that was never a big deal. He did have Johnny's personality in there. Like, Johnny's personality was in there. I mean, I didn't necessarily like him because, there was no dynamic to play. But what makes Johnny likable and fun is how he plays off of the other members of the Four. There was none of that there. And it frustrates me, as you can tell by this review. And I thank you for sitting here and listening if you've watched this review all the way to the end. And thank you for putting up with my ranting and raving. But don't see this movie if you are debating on it. Don't see it. Don't even stream it. I streamed it. And it wasted a hour and a half of my life that I will never get back. Go watch the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon. 2 great seasons. It's an awesome cartoon. Watch Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. It's still a good cartoon. More underrated. It's only 26 episodes. It's all on Marvel's YouTube channel. Check it out. It's good. I don't know. Go play Marvel Ultimate Alliance and, use the Fantastic Four. Do something else with the Fantastic Four that has nothing to do with this movie if you really need a Fantastic Four itch scratched. Read some Fantastic Four comics. I don't know. Watch the old 2003 Fantastic Four movie. Just do anything but watch this movie. I give this movie a 2 out of 5 stars, and that's being generous. I mean, because there were some elements there that I'm like, I see glimpses of something that could be good in there, but I don't like it. I can't. And something I didn't really talk about much that I want to talk about really quick. They reversed Sue and Reed a little bit. Sue was more quiet and introverted, and Reed was, more take charge type of person. Whereas like Sue is the mama bear of the of the Fantastic Four family. She is the one to take charge and to take command and to protect her family. And Reed is more of the, the yes man to Sue, who figures out the situation, who comes up with the plans and stuff, but Sue is the one, giving the orders out. I mean, unless it's, one of Reed's complicated plans. And they reversed it here, Sue, the reason why, Sue, I feel like Sue fits the Invisible Woman kind of thing is that she kind of allows herself to be invisible to Reed. Where Reed kind of neglects her, she lets that happen. So that's why I feel like the Invisible Woman thing fits her personality there. But, here, she's, literally invisible because she just is, shy and doesn't, introverted and doesn't want to interact. And that's not Sue. Sue is one of the strongest female characters in Marvel. Power-wise and personality-wise. And it's not Kate Mara's fault again. I'm not bashing Kate Mara. because Kate Mara is awesome. She does a great job on House of Cards, and you know, I wish her nothing but the best. But Sue in this movie was so bad. She's like the lowest point of this movie for me, character wise. But and the shitty teachers in this movie. But yeah, I give this a 2 out of 5 stars. Do not see this movie. Do not, at all costs, see this movie. Just show Fox that we're not stupid, and we're not just gonna buy into this because it's a superhero movie. It has great actors attached to it, and it has a superhero name that we are familiar with. Show them that we won't respond to that. That we'll respond to when they give the rights back to Marvel, or you know, even at the very least, they share with Marvel like Sony did, because Sony at least learned after the Amazing Spider-Man 2 that this was not going to work. Hopefully, this is enough to show Fox that this is not going to work, and we can get them back home at Marvel, please. But anyway, guys, thank you for putting up with my ranting and review. Like this video if you liked anything I had to say here. Obviously, I dislike the movie, but that doesn't mean you have to give a dislike to the video. As always, if you had the unfortunate pleasure of actually seeing this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. You know, it helps us all if we vent. So let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. As always, I hope you enjoyed this review. This is Mr. J for Comic Frontline, and I'll catch you guys later. And don't worry, the DBZ review will be coming out tomorrow. Until next time, guys, this is Jay from Mr. J's Comic Reviews for Comic Frontline. And like I always say, once a comic book geek, always a comic book geek. Always a comic book geek. Have a fantastic day, guys. Peace.